Hello and welcome to the Core Outdoors Speaker Series. I'm your host, Jamie Moy, an adventure journalist in the West Kootenays. Once a month, Core produces this webinar to share valuable information in the outdoor rec tech space and, of course, to foster connections within the Core community. Today, we'll be hearing from Jamie McCue, the product manager at Orbit Apps, and Will McFarland, head of operations there. They'll be discussing how outdoor brands can harness the power of pro-purchase programs and wholesale strategies to drive growth and streamline operations on Shopify. Jamie is joining us from the island, from Courtney, and Will from Victoria. So Orbit Apps is a virtual company, and they have employees in BC, also in Ontario and Montreal, I believe. Welcome, Jamie and Will. It's great to have you both on the speaker series. Quick reminder, we'll have a Q&A at the end, a lively Q&A as Jamie has promised us. So please save your questions until then. All right, so the floor is yours, Jamie and Will, if you could go ahead and share your screen.
Thank you, Jamie, for that wonderful intro. Hello, everyone. It's excellent to be here today, sharing your time with us to discuss our apps here at Orbit. So today, we will be, as Jamie mentioned, just talking about some strategies around wholesale, B2B, pro purchase for brands in the outdoor industry, specifically on Shopify. So I'm Jamie. I'm the product manager. Will, he's our head of development.
Hello, hello.
Okay, so today is a welcome and the purpose of what we're here. So what are we going to cover? So we're going to talk about some challenges that brands face when it comes to pro purchase programs and wholesale. What are some opportunities to explore while you're on Shopify? And then some growth strategies for pro programs and wholesale, and then how to simplify your operations. We figure it'll take about 40 minutes. I've got a demo and some various slides to show you, and we'll talk about a couple of examples of what worked for some of the merchants that we work with. So a little bit about Orbit. So Orbit is a all remote app company. We make apps specifically for Shopify. We have a suite of apps, 4 of them exactly, and our team is distributed around British Columbia, Ontario, Montreal, etc. So yeah, we wanted to share some of the brands that we work with. There's a couple logos here. We work with thousands of brands, mostly with our wholesale app, and we'll touch on that later. But yeah, we're excited to be working within this space. So 2 opportunities outdoor brands should be integrating, but there's challenges that brands in any industry, and particularly in the outdoor industry, face when it comes to unlocking these strategies. So particularly we'll talk about just being disconnected from Shopify. There's other e-commerce platforms out there. There's pros and cons to all of them. Shopify seems to be the leader, particularly here in Canada. And then also, another challenge is managing your different customer groups, so your retailers, and then also your various customer groups. And then having those different discount and pricing strategies, being able to offer wholesale pricing to those specific customers, and then also discounts to your ambassadors and your specialty customers. The other problems they face is just a lot of time lost on administration, which can be frustrating, and we hear it often from the merchants that we work with. And then also complicated third-party software can be expensive and not integrated with Shopify. So first, I want to dive into what is a pro program, and I'm certain, being in the outdoor industry space, most of you have experience or have heard of one. They've been around forever, and I would buy fax machines and pro deals. A little bit of background on my story. I've been involved with skateboarding, snowboarding, and mountain biking since the mid-90s. I was a shop rat at 14, and I was fortunate enough to get those pro deals and staff discounts at the time. We used to have to fax them in. I remember when we would meet with the Burton rep and other reps, and they would offer us discounts. We would fill out our sheet and then fax that in, which was pretty awesome. But it's come a long way since those days, and times have changed, and so has the technology. And so today we're leveraging that technology for the greater good, for helping brands succeed with their pro programs. But there is challenges that are faced when it comes to running your pro program on Shopify or beyond, is that outdated systems. I chat with merchants a lot who are using old spreadsheets and other systems, and none of it's really connected, and they don't know who's coming or going. Another major problem is leaked discount codes. We hear this all the time from merchants that relied on discount codes for their pro program, and those were getting shared. And then, of course, that impacts not only your revenue and sales, but also it undermines retailers, which is a big part of what we focus on, is making sure that those systems are tight. And then the pricey third-party systems that are pretty apparent in the outdoor industry. I won't name them, but I'm sure you have heard of them. So Pro Purchase Program, it goes by many names. I have some examples here. I see Industry Purchase Program, Employee Discounts, Pro Deals, Pro Form, but they all kind of serve the same purpose. And it depends on the brand and how they want to position their Pro Purchase Program and who the audience is for those. So the real benefits of a successful pro program should be the relationships that you build and create along the way. When you're working with folks who are using your products day in, day out, particularly for their job, you're creating long-term customers and advocates of your products. And then also there's an opportunity for to protect brand value by offering discrete discounting. Something that we've heard a fair amount is obviously not every brand wants to depend on discounts, and sometimes inventory is high. So we have found a number of strategies that work with offering discounts to specific member groups on specific inventory that would not necessarily go to a public sale. And then it makes gear affordable for those low-paying roles. We know that a lot of those positions with guides and so on don't pay very well. So any way to support those professionals is helpful. So enter Alliance Pro. A little background on Alliance. We found a number of brands in the outdoor industry space using our Wholesale app for their pro program. And that was interesting to me with my experience. I'm on search and rescue, so I do qualify for a number of industry programs, which I'm very grateful for. But in that time, it's allowed me to meet a lot and speak with brands who run programs, but there was nothing really in the Shopify App Store specifically for those brands. And so they were relying on Wholesale apps to do so, but we found that that's limiting in a number of ways. And so we built Alliance Pro to have an end-to-end one place to go to manage your pro program. And so some of the key features are you have many member groups. So within your industry purchase program, and it could be employees, it could be guides, it could be first responders, it could be military, what have you. There's a lot of different ways that brands break them down, and that's specific to their goals and business strategy. And so, so we built Alliance Pro to solve this problem and fill that niche in the App Store, and we're finding success with that. So some various strategies that we found successful with using our app, Alliance Pro, to manage your pro program is to recruiting the right customers to build relationships. So it's up to the brand to decide who specifically they want to target with their pro program. And there's a lot of patterns between each of them and common customer types that we see. And so you're able to offer specific tiered and discrete pricing to serve those specific groups. And then a big one is to make sure that you're preventing misuse. So we offer the opportunity to use purchase limits, which ensures that only qualified members benefit And the ideal there is you set that spend limit, and then users are less likely to be able to purchase products and resell them online. And then also to maintain those connections and foster engagement, we offer Klaviyo and Hotmail integration, and we found a number of merchants are successful in having marketing campaigns specifically for those pro customers. So I just want to give you a bit of a tour of Alliance Pro. I will give you a little show around some general functionality, review and approving an application, and looking at discounts and so on. We'll also take a look at the storefront. Switch to my browser. So this is Alliance Pro, the admin. And so this is in a bit of a different state than you would see after you install the app. We have some onboarding steps to go through after you install the app, including creating a member group, creating a discount, and then approving the test application. And so once you have some transactions running through the app, it switches to this analytics dashboard. And the analytics dashboard is helpful to give you insights into the success and the health and wellness of your program. You can break it down by time and then also by group specifically. We also have some helpful guides to get you started if you're not certain about what is a pro program or how the app will work on your storefront, and then various preference settings. So first of all, we'll pop over to our members groups because that's a big part of your pro program configuration. Mine's kind of more robust. These are a lot of the examples that I see when I'm talking to merchants. So first responders, guides, educators, industry employees, students, etc. So it depends on who you want to target for your member group, and then you can have them defined here. So let's pop into the industry employees. So right now, this is my industry employees group. It's my demo store, so I only have 3 members. The description of what it is. And then this is the discount limit that I mentioned earlier. So maximum discount amount in shop currency. So the approved member for this group can only spend $1,200. And then at that point, they can still shop, but they no longer qualify for discounts. This was a highly requested feature early on. And as I mentioned, the reason for it is to combat resellers and overspending, folks buying products and reselling them. The other cool functionality, which is part of a recommended strategy, is auto-approved domains. So we recently added this feature to give control over strategic other companies that you partner with. We see this a lot in the mountain bike sector, where they will work with other brands, whether they're a clothing company or a ski or snowboard company, but they offer each other industry discounts. So if you have a partner brand that you work with, you can add their domain here. And any of the employees who apply from that company will be auto-approved after they apply. And then we will pop into, I want to show you I'll show you discounts first. And so the outdoor industry discount that I have configured here, and there's a lot of power behind these discounts, given that you can set up different tiers. So if you manufacture, say, hard goods and soft goods, and you have different margins on those products, you don't have to have a blanket discount for all your products. You can essentially offer a higher margin. If you have a higher margin on one product, you can then configure a discount to match that accordingly, which we find that this works really well with being able to offer granular and specific discounts. And then preferences is a big part here. So we want to make sure that applicants are following your terms and conditions and your pro program policy. These are really important as part of the application process. So you're upfront as a brand what your terms are going to be, and that the applicant needs to read and acknowledge them and follow them and during their membership of your program. We also have an option to require a file upload, and we do recommend this to brands. And so when someone is applying for your program, they have to upload current credentials, certificates, pay stubs, so they have the qualifications of who they say they are. You can also integrate Alliance Pro with Klaviyo or MailChimp, and so all the email notifications that go out of the app can be customized to your branding and your marketing styles. And then we have the auto approve, as I mentioned. You can customize the membership message for that. And now I want to go to applications and show you what that application process looks like. So an application, after a customer submits the application, they get a notification saying, thanks for applying. We'll be reviewing your application. We'll get back to you. The administrator receives an email saying, hey, you received a new email or a new application, sorry, and go and take a look at it. So they come in here. Okay, so we have Peter from Whistler Blackcomb, and he's part of the coaching staff. I love your gear, ride one of your older boards, and I'm hoping to join your pro program. Okay, yeah, so he fits my brand's requirements, but let's check a look at his qualifications. Yep, they look great. And so we want to, you can approve or reject the application. And so this is really an important feature that I want to point out. And so there's a start and an end date. So a lot of the conversations I have with merchants is they're using a spreadsheet. Their spreadsheet's way out of date. They're still giving discounts to people who their certificates run out. They're no longer employed by that company, but they're still receiving those discounts. So as a business, of course, that's lost revenue and also just a loose, kind of messy system. So you set a start and an end date. Typically it defaults to 1 year. We've also seen seasonal employees where they'll change it to 6 months. But then that member at the end date will receive a expiry notification that their membership is expiring and that they're going to need to reapply. And so we would say, welcome to the team. Your discounts will show on the product page and in the cart. So welcome, Patrick. So it's that simple. And now you can review all past applications. You can then also review all of your current members and see who's expiring, who's suspended, and so on. If you notice any kind of shady action happening with a specific user, you can suspend them. It's a shadow suspension, so they won't be notified. So they would either need to reach out to your customer service team or reapply. And so that's kind of the full end-to-end. I will show you what it looks like on the storefront from the customer's experience. So we'll pop over to my store here, Powder Mountain Essentials. And I am logged in currently as an approved industry employee. And this widget here is called an app block, and you can bring that into your account details page and style it according to your theme. So the period expires November 29th. This user, Chris Smith, has not done any shopping yet, so zero value of the 1,200 allotted. And so now let's go and take a look at what that storefront experience is like. So I'm an approved member to the industry employees group, and it shows my discount here. So any applicable discounts will be shown in the cart. And I'm going to go ahead, add that to the cart, view the cart. And then this is the message that can be configured when you create the discounts. So you can have some custom messaging here. You can say what the discount level is and go from there. So pretty straightforward. Just a quick look at the application form. Pretty standard Shopify application form. We require the company organization of who you work for, what your position and role is there, some supporting details for your application, and then your upload of your credentials. You then have you review the terms and conditions, acknowledge them, and the policy, acknowledge them. Subscribe to the email marketing, and then that's when the application will get sent over to the admin. So I'm going to, that's the demo side of things. It was a little fast. There's a lot more to explore there, but we're on limited time. And so I just want to talk a little bit about some of the success stories that we've seen. So OneUp Components was an early adopter of Alliance Pro. We worked closely with them to help build out features and functionality that were that they needed. They were using an old, outdated system before, and they had recently done some updates to their website and wanted to kind of level up their pro purchase program. So they refer to it as an industry purchase program because they work with a lot of employees, staff from other companies, and then other sort of related industries, as I mentioned. So they're finding it way more effective than discount codes. They were having a problem with leaked codes, which was unfortunate, but now they have solved that problem. And then the purchase limit, like I mentioned, just those safeguards against resellers. They eliminated that code abuse, and they've enhanced their member database. So they're really they've really dialed in these MailChimp for their marketing. So they've got a really dialed in member marketing program that they engage with those customers. And of course, when you do that, you form those long relationships. Another example is Chromag Bikes was also an early adopter of Alliance Pro. So they spend way less admin time. And given that they are, they make components similar to OneUp, they have a lot of different SKUs. And so they have a lot of different products with different margins that they want to have different discount tiers on them. So it just gives them way more control on their program in general. So that's my side of things, and I've done it. I've got 42 seconds left, so I can save Will some time for his portion. Alliance Pro is new. It's been in the App Store for about a year now. We encourage you to check it out. It's free. We have a 30-day free trial. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about that after, but I'm going to let Will take it away.
Right on. Excellent work on the timing there, Jamie. Very impressive. All right. Happy to be here, chat with you a little bit about B2B or wholesale, as the terms are pretty much interchangeable these days. B2B is a bit more the buzzword. But yeah, we'll start talking just about the market overall and then get a little bit more specific and look at our wholesale app and how all that works near the end. So yeah, some of the things that we've been seeing in the B2B market this year and expecting for the future. So yeah, retail, e-commerce, direct to consumer is growing at a slower rate, pretty much back to what it was like before the pandemic. So around 4% growth year over year. Looking at B2B though, it's expected to grow globally around 18% every year into 2030. And a lot of that growth is digital. So Gartner is, they're estimating around 80% of B2B sales are going to be happening online by the end of the year. And yeah, B2B overall, is looking like a great place to invest, like with this growth rate. You can expand into a new market and capture some of this growth. And yeah, so that's the market overall. Talking about the buyers themselves, one of the big patterns here is that 70% of B2B buyers are going to be millennials, like me. So people who grew up with the internet, for better or worse. You're welcome for not including any memes at this part of the slide. Yeah, so millennials have higher expectations on e-commerce B2B buying. They want it to be something they could do themselves, not have to wait. And if they run into pain points, they'll probably look somewhere else. So yeah, buyer expectations are shifting in that way. And yeah, I mean, in the B2B space, there's a lot of room for improvement. I talk to B2B merchants all the time, and when I ask them to tell me about their operation, the first thing is usually a shake of the head or a sigh or something like that. There's usually a lot of manual processes and things that take a lot of time for them, for their team. Yeah, setting quotes around, catalogs, dealing with details of shipping, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, that time really adds up for the merchant and for the people who are buying. That's times away from growing your business. The good news is that there are solutions that are out there. So yeah, a lot of B2B e-commerce solutions that are out there that enable, they solve a lot of the problems that I've been talking about, which is great. And the choice can also be overwhelming. Um, as a builder of Shopify apps, you can imagine what I'm going to say next. We think Shopify is the best place to be doing that. So we've bet on Shopify, and we think they're doing awesome. E-commerce is complicated, but Shopify does a good job of streamlining it for merchants and for the buyers. Yeah, they're focused on helping stores sell with a great checkout as well. For any of the stuff that Shopify doesn't do natively, they've got a bunch of great apps and a great marketplace. And that's where we come in. And I'll talk more about that later. So yeah, you can go to the next slide there. Just back one, Jamie. Thank you. Yeah, so some strategies, advice on selling B2B. Right off the top is, yeah, B2B marketing. This is a whole talk on its own, and I'm not an expert in here. So I just wanted to mention it and say that it's worthwhile to dig into it. There's a lot you can do specifically to bring in B2B business. B2B buyers have different needs. And yeah, a lot of it comes down to just knowing your buyers deeply and then optimizing every step of the journey, getting them onto your store and making an order. B2B buyers spend around 25% of their time researching online, looking into this stuff. So yeah, making your resources available online, making them accessible is a key thing. Anything social proof is also great. Case studies, testimonials, that sort of thing. There's some great resources out there. Like Shopify has a bunch of great resources if you want to just get started on that. Yeah, so that's B2B marketing. Self-service ordering. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, saves you time, saves your buyers time, gives the buyers control of the process, means they stick around. Yeah, it's worth any time spent here is worthwhile to just enable customers to any step of the journey apply for their account, see their wholesale pricing on the store, place their orders online. Any like just removing any manual steps where you can. And yeah, if you're on Shopify, using our app makes all that possible, which you'll see later. Yeah, another key thing is just personalizing the buyer's experience. So yeah, really showing them that you understand their needs, making the most of their time. Just keeps them around, improves conversion and your order values. So really that comes down to, yeah, segmenting your customers into groups, understanding these groups deeply, marketing for them specifically, making specific content on your website for these groups. Yeah, like we were saying, individualized pricing and making specific product recommendations for those groups. Profile pages with all the relevant details about making orders, any details of your B2B program, that sort of thing. Easy to access order information. Yeah, the personalization in general is a great area to focus. And yeah, next we got cross-border sales. So yeah, selling internationally gives you access to markets, new customers, diversifies your risk, if your local market's slump. You can sell seasonally. You can. It's always summer somewhere. Sounds ideal, but yeah, there's no way around. There's a lot of work expanding into different markets. It takes a lot of research. Every market's different. They've got this tax and logistics, all these things to sort out. Technology is expanding here, making this easier. It's still going to be a lot of work, but Shopify simplifies a lot of it. Selling in other languages, currencies, localizing your store for different markets. There is technology that's making that easier. So it's something to poke at. Last strategy is using analytics. Yeah, using data. Just as an overall principle, just helps you to figure out what you're trying, if it's working, how well, what's not, so you can lean into the stuff that is. So yeah, I mean, you basically just want to make sure you can break down your store's B2B sales by customer groups. And then if you are doing all these things we were talking about with the self-service ordering, that gets way easier to look all in one place. So you can use Shopify to do that analysis. And just checking in on that data regularly is also pretty key. It's one thing to just track all the data, but checking in regularly and seeing how it's comparing, how the results are tracking versus the things that you're trying is key with that. All right, we can move on to looking at what B2B looks like on Shopify with our app, B2B Wholesale Hub. So yeah, just off the top, I wanted to mention that Shopify does have native B2B functionality as part of their Plus plan, and it's great. It also has a price tag to match because you have to be on Shopify Plus. It's like $2,500 a month. With all of the main Shopify plans, they don't have B2B functionality. So merchants will take steps like opening up multiple stores with duplicate catalogs. As you can imagine, that is a lot of effort to maintain. That can be, it kind of defeats the purpose of saving time. With our app, though, you can do it all in one store. So yeah, you don't need to be on Shopify Plus, and you can get all these great things that I've been talking about: personalization, self-service ordering, that sort of thing. So just a quick top level of the features before I start walking through them. We've got the way that we do wholesale pricing is with discounts. So we do percentage discounts. You can also do custom pricing for different customer groups, do volume discounts. So if customers are buying more, they can get a bigger discount. Other wholesale B2B standards, like we've got net payment terms, like net 30, that sort of thing. We've got a Shopify POS support if you've got brick and mortar and you want to do B2B there. We have a quick order form. And last thing I want to mention there is our support. Yeah, our support team is awesome, and that makes a big difference. They're always there during the day and just a chat away. And that makes a big difference when you're getting going with this. Yeah. And yeah, as you can see there, yep, over 6,000 merchants trust us. There's millions of B2B orders we see flowing through all the time. So yeah, the trusted solution on Shopify. All right, go to the next slide, and then I can share my screen here and give you a little tour of what it looks like. Just one second. All right, so I'm going to flip the script a little bit from Jamie's demo and start with the B2B buyer experience. So you'll notice a similarity in these snowboard in our stores. This is Shopify helps you generate stores with products with these snowboards. So yeah, this is my store. Note the prices. These are the regular retail prices. If I go ahead and log in with my B2B account, I'll go back and these are my wholesale prices. So you can see they just replace the prices themselves. And then, yeah, there's a couple other features that you can see on the storefront. You have order minimums. So if you have those needs in your program, you got to buy a certain amount to qualify for a discount, then you can have those rules here. We also have the volume discount set up, so you can get an additional discount. And then you can also see the net terms here if you are going to check out with net terms. You can just pay right away, or you can check out net 30. So that's the storefront experience for self-service checkout. Pretty streamlined, works in your store as it is, doesn't require all the duplication I was talking about earlier. Next, I'll show you the Shopify admin, what the app looks like and how it works. So yeah, you can see I've got my discounts here. These are sort of just the simplest discount setup is just a percentage discount. So the way that we do our customer groups is with tags in the customer section of the admin. So I've got this discount for anyone who has a wholesale tag, they get a 50% discount on these collections of products. And anyone who's tagged with retailer gets a discount on these ones. And yeah, you just pop into the Shopify admin here and tag away. That's how that connection is made. Those are the discounts. We could create a discount we wanted. Say we have a gold tier that gets 60% discount on snowboards. Simple as that. You just go into your admin and tag the customers who are part of your gold program, and then they would see those prices in the storefront. And if you have need for more configuration on these prices, we have the ability to do custom pricing for any of these groups. So yeah, you can just set specific prices and you can import and export with CSVs if you have a detailed list somewhere that you maintain on this pricing. The minimums rules we were talking about earlier, you can set those up in here. Each tag can get their own minimums rules. You can also set up more advanced handling if you sell in case lots, so you have to buy a certain quantity of certain products. You can set things up. So with this rule, you would have to buy in increments of 5. So like say you sold them in packages of 5, by 5, 10, 15, that sort of thing. That's the order minimums rules. We've got volume discounting, as we were saying earlier. If you order 10, you get 5%. If you order 20, you can get an additional 10% discount. That's how that works. Product visibility is a feature that we have, so you can hide products that are wholesale only. So do I still have my storefront here? You'll see here we have this wholesale snowboard. I'm logged in. If I log out, there's no more wholesale snowboard. So if you have that need, if you got wholesale only products that you want to sell, but you don't want your retail shoppers buying them, that's what this is for. We have the ability to provide some extra fees on orders if you have special shipping handling costs you want to have for wholesale only, or if you just want to do free shipping. I'll talk just quickly about analytics here. as I was saying earlier, analytics is key to understanding how your program's doing and be able to gauge the impact of the efforts you're making in growing your program. So yeah, we have a detailed dashboard that breaks down your sales, your stats, your average order value, any of that sort of thing. And then I only have one group in the chart here, but it'll show up for all the different groups that you have. So you can see how those are performing over time. And lastly, we have a quick order form. Just streamlining the order process, trying to make this as quick as possible for buyers who know what they want and they just want to see your catalog all in one place. So yeah, I'll just buy. I know what I want. I just want to buy these couple products, add them to the cart, and then yeah, you're good to go. And yeah, that's the whirlwind tour of Wholesale Hub. So I will stop sharing my screen once I find my Zoom window. There it is. Got it. Cool. That's me. Thank you.
As well. Back to my slides here. Yeah, so together you can see the combined value of these apps. The beauty is they're all in one main Shopify store. So you can offer wholesale pricing to your wholesale customers. You can offer member pricing to specific members, and you can do it all within one store. So that definitely unifies the management side of things because you could just do that all in your Shopify admin. And you can see by leveraging these apps that it opens new revenue streams for each of those different customer types. And then build community through those different retail partners and pro customers. And as I mentioned, with the merchants that we work with, they see a lot of success with their marketing campaigns to those specific customer types. So thank you for that. Thanks for hearing us out on Alliance Pro and Wholesale Hub. The apps are available in the App Store. There is a trial available on each of them, so you can install them and try them out. If you'd like a demo, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to be able to help you out. And yeah, we're here for you. We want to help your brand grow. And thanks for joining us. Be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hey, so I'm just curious because I'm looking through my Shopify app store and there's like 85 plus wholesale apps. So how do you guys feel that your offering really distinguishes itself on the marketplace?
Yeah, happy to speak to that. Yeah, a lot of these wholesale apps are complicated. Wholesale is complicated. There's a ton of different features out there. And yeah, so I think where we stand apart is just the simplicity of it. We lean more on making it easy to set up a program and your pricing in one place, as opposed to setting up really detailed pricing lists that you have to go in like 8 different pages to make any changes. So yeah, more on the streamlined, simple side of things, as opposed to more complex and detailed, in-depth, everything customizable, overwhelming sort of thing.
And to add to that, I would say our customer support team. I was reading through the reviews on the App Store listing, and overwhelmingly, people are like, we're not sure how to configure this, but I reached out to support and they helped us right away. And we hear that all the time. We love our support team, and they're there for you if you have questions or need anything. Looks like there might be a question in the chat.
Yeah, chat only, unfortunately. We can do an onboarding call. I'm happy to do an onboarding call, but yeah, it's chat. chat for support.
I have another wholesale question. So here in the Kootenays, there's a lot of small businesses that take goods on a consignment basis rather than paying for them upfront. So is there a way to kind of work around your app, like using maybe that net 30 thing to kind of track consignment selling, or is that like a whole other case?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. I'm gonna have to think about that. Yeah, it might. Yeah, it's not specifically what net terms is meant for, but yeah, it might be possible to manage things that way.
Yeah, because essentially you're having to track inventory, like you want to track from the same central inventory, but know that like these goods are at this store, but they're just going to pay you as they're sold.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to sit and think on that one. I haven't really encountered the consignment use case, but yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
You can think about it and get back to me. I can put my
Yeah,
thoughts in the
totally. Yeah.
chat.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Send me an email after and we can chat about it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, good question here from Nicholas. How are pro renewals handled? Does a new application map to the existing customer record? Yes, it does. So at the expiration date, that customer, that member will receive notification that their membership is expiring, and then they'll need to reapply, and it will map directly with their customer record. In addition to that, there's some cool functionality within Alliance Pro that essentially has a paper trail of that customer profile. So over time, you can see when a member was approved or rejected, or if somebody added them manually and say like at a trade show, for example, the admin can make a note, hey, we met Peter at the trade show, added him here. And then over time, you're able to build up that paper trail and insights into who's who added them, how they got added, how they got approved. And it just gives you way more insight into what's happening with your membership, as opposed to, say, a spreadsheet, which can get out of date pretty quick. Hope that answers your question. Another thing that I didn't touch on too much was the ability to add a member manually. So if you have a strategic partner or an exec or a connection, you can add them manually and it'll invite them into the system. They don't need to have a customer account. It's really beneficial for just adding a one-off person, a strategic partner that maybe you want to connect with and offer special member pricing to. In addition, if you do have that spreadsheet, you can import that into Alliance Pro. So if you have a CSV that you kind of want to move away from, you can import all those members into Alliance Pro. And if they don't exist as customers yet, it will create a customer record for them, which is pretty handy. I'd be curious if anybody works for a company or if anybody's part of a pro program that you've had struggles with or pain points. I'd be curious to hear if what you like or don't like about what you've experienced. Six Seasons asked a question here. Does it make a difference what accounting system you run, i.e. QuickBooks, Sage? I can't speak to that, Will. Can you, about if you're on Shopify, how would that work with their accounting system?
Yeah, you just want to make sure that there is a Shopify integration for the system. I know that QuickBooks has, I think it's the QuickBooks Online. There is an integration with QuickBooks and Shopify. I don't have a lot of knowledge on this specific area other than, yeah, there's an integration that syncs the data. If you have that, then that's cool. That works. And like our app tags orders, which I believe creates the link, so that the reporting can carry through and B2B orders can be associated that way.
Yeah, something that really drew me to Core is all of the small found businesses that are up and coming in British Columbia, particularly, is really awesome to see. It's great that you, as entrepreneurs and founders, have support of Core to lift you up, and the community to work with, learn from their expertise, and help you get your products to market. Wholesale and pro purchase are really just two strategies that we feel are beneficial if you're small and up and coming. And I think if you really fine tune who specifically you want to target for memberships and partnerships, you can really leverage long-term relationships and people that are advocates for your products. They're out there in the field testing and using them all the time, giving feedback, giving advice, and constantly helping you learn to iterate and improve your products. So yeah, we're excited to be here today and just share the apps that we think will help your business. And so yeah, we'd love to be able to give you a demo, answer any follow-up questions, etc.
Hey, I'm wondering if we should pop like a direct email address into the chat for people.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. Will and I share a product at orbitapps.com. You can find out about our apps at orbitapps.com. Alliance Pro has its own. It's alliancepro.app. You can check that out. Will added his there for any specific B2B questions. Yeah, so like I say, I'd say like if you are on Shopify, check out the App Store, install the apps, poke around, and see how they may work for your business.
Any other questions?
I was just wondering what the wholesale onboarding looks like, because we got a demo of how it looks like on the Pro app. But if you have a new wholesale customer, is it a similar kind of workflow where they would put in an application and then get approved?
Right. So with the application, there's a lot more. Basically, with our app, we don't provide anything specific for that. So there's a lot of what we typically recommend is the Shopify Forms app. And so we have a guide on that. You can basically auto tag people that apply. And then you can either have an approval process, or you can just automatically approve them and give them the pricing after they apply there. But yeah, Shopify Forms is a great way to get them in. There are paid apps for forms if you have some more specific aspects that you need for approval and that sort of thing, for more wholesale specific needs. But yeah, it's really just tagging those customers is the onboarding. And so yeah, forms is one option for that.
Hey, I think we're good then. Thank you, Will and Jamie. Thank you, everyone. That completes our webinar for January. We will host the next Core Outdoor Speaker Series on February 25th. That's a Tuesday at the usual time, 11:30 Pacific. We'll be joined by Tomke Augustin. She'll be speaking about diversity, equity, and inclusion as it pertains to the outdoor industry and the outdoor rec tech space. And I believe she'll be demoing an assessment tool. So mark your calendar and look for more information. All right.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Meeting then.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, much appreciated.
You're
Thank
so
you.
welcome. Until next time, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Take care.